Mr. Director General, for your leadership, and thanks for the ministers. Her Highness, I was with you 2 years ago with Kerry Kennedy and Ariel Dorfman, where we spoke about education, and today we see you have much more commitment on education. Thank you very much for it. Global Campaign for Education, friends, is a movement which wanted to see the realization of all 6 EFA goals as a sense of urgency. We strongly feel that the biggest scandal of 21st century is illiteracy and ignorance, and which is the cause of all kinds of injustices and inequalities. Today, an 11-year-old girl was testifying in a civil society event in front of this building in a church. Devli is her name. She comes from India. Her parents were born as bonded labor, a virtual slavery. They have never been to school, so was the children. Devli was born in this literal slavery where she used to work in stone quarries. We have liberated her, and now she is in school. She spoke today in front of 300-400 audience. Some of them were ministers as well. She introduced herself that when she went to school, she realized that education is liberation. Education is opening up of her mind, and she went door to door in her community and inspired 15 other girls to come to school. Today she asked a question that if me, as a former slave, 11-year-old, can help in bringing 15 girls of my community, all girls of my community to school, why can't you all try to bring all children from the world to school? That was her question. And she said that every day living in ignorance is living in slavery. She brings a sense of urgency. And that urgency is required. That urgency is must. The second important issue is the coherence at country level. We have seen tremendous positive change in last 7-8 years. Education ministers have shown their commitment. But when it comes to the ministries of finance and other ministries, the Prime Minister's level, we still need a serious amount of political will. Education of children cannot be solved without the policy coherence as well as the interministerial coordination and cooperation at national level. Because the children who are left out now are the hard-to-reach children. They are child laborers, they are trafficked children, they are children of immigrant community, they are living, as Her Highness told, and the ministers from Norway said already, that these are the children living in fragile states. So special efforts have to be made for these children to bring back to schools, and that requires additional resources. All the accounting and budgetary allocations are being made at country level based on an average expenditure on education. But when we have to bring back the children from different, most difficult circumstances and hardships, including the victims of HIV/AIDS and orphans, including the children from fragile states, then additional resources are required, and the budgetary allocations as well as the estimations and costing has to be based on these marginalized and hard-to-reach sections of the society. Finally, the most important thing is the partnership. I would once again applaud the leadership of the Director General and the efforts being made by Fast Track Initiative and others to bring not only the governments and intergovernmental agencies, but also the public sector at large, the corporations and the civil society. And more importantly, the children themselves have to play an important role, and the ministers may encourage the school-going children to encourage education for all goals at the country level. Thank you very much.